God, I mean, it's I don't know. There's not a word that I can think of, but you know, it's obviously legend, monument. I mean, if there's a Mount Rushmore with any of the guys in the speed equipment industry, you know, he's got to be on there. And to have him here still, I mean, it's just unbelievable. You know, all the guys from his era, you know, the Sheepers and the Edelbrocks and the, you know, they're all gone, you know, and he's still here. It's amazing. It's just like having Babe Ruth still playing baseball, you know. And it's just, you know, I don't think there's a word that I can come up with, but it would be a good word.
How would you describe an icon like that? It's kind of hard.
Yeah, where do we even start?
Yeah, he's smarter than all of us put together. His memory is unbelievable for his age, or any age.
For any age, absolutely. Age has nothing to do with it, with him.
Yeah,
it's just
the energy. I don't even think he knows how famous he is. He just walks around and he just has a good time around all the racers. He's a born drag racer, a hot rodder from the old days, and nothing's changed from it. It's great to see him here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm thrilled that he has made it this far and that he's obviously sharp as a tack. You know, I have such fond memories of him at Lions Drag Strip, Ascot Park Speedway, and in Turn 1 in the grandstands, and you know, he's still cooking along. I think we all wish that we could be doing what he's doing when we're his age.
And what we're here for today, guys, obviously we've got a great car show, but it's to celebrate the life and the 102nd birthday of an absolute hot rod icon. It's Ed Iskenderian, and we're going to bring Ed up in about 45 minutes to say a few words, but to be around somebody like that, I was so fortunate to get to MC Ed's 100th birthday, and he talked to his doctor. He got a 25-year extension, so we should be good to go for quite some time. Lana, are you not coming up? Come here, Lana. Lana Crispin, the one who organizes all of this stuff. She's actually on the verge of having an aneurysm, so she was practicing deep breathing. But, you know, you guys, to put on a show like this, the logistics are just insane. And it's not just the museum crew. It's all the hot rodders, the car owners, the Cackle Fest owners there. Just amazing to be surrounded by such a great group of people. Hey, before we get into kind of officially kicking this off, I'd like to bring another friend of mine up, and one of the greatest drag race people in the history of the sport. I don't think he ever drove anything that won a race. Pretty sure he never crew chiefed on anything that won a race. And he didn't own anything that won a race. But Steve Gibbs, you want to step up here? That man has paved a way for so many drag racers to be successful and do the things they do. I want to give Steve the mic for a couple of minutes and just have him tell you guys about the Nitro Revival, where it's going to be, what it's going to be. If you've been there, you get it. You're going to make it there. If you haven't been there, you guys can't miss this. So, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Gibbs.
Hey, thanks, Jack. We certainly appreciate it. And my daughter, Cindy, over somewhere, there she is right here. She's the other half of this Papa and daughter team. Nitro Revival is about history. And everything here today is about hot rodding history. And it's basically to celebrate, you know, drag racing in all forms, especially Nitro. That's where the name comes from. We've established an event called Nitro Revival once a year at the Little Irwindale 8th Mile track up on the 605. It's November 4th and 5th. We had 4 great cars here today. We fired them up. We'll have over 70 at Irwindale in November, plus a great group of gassers there, historical cars. It's just a celebration. It's kind of a museum with sound. And we appreciate everybody that's supported us. We've carved out our niche. It's a social event. It's not a race. But we thoroughly appreciate the cooperation and, you know, the recognition and cooperation with Rick and Lions here. It's great. Thanks, everybody. We're going to see you in November.
Oh, we got the flyover just on time. Thank you, Southwest. Hey, Ed's going to come up to the stage in a couple of minutes. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm stalling. We're going to make this seem seamless. But what I'd like to do with Rick Lorenzen, the man who's made this, the building possible, the dream possible, the Lions tribute possible. Rick, if you don't mind saying a couple of things about looking forward, what's going to be happening soon with the museum and some of the programs you guys are working on. So, Rick Lorenzen.
Thank you all for being here. This is what it's all about. we're reliving our youth, and we love it in these kind of events where we can show off the good old days. Basically, that's what we're all about, and we're expanding it and gonna make it even broader and really cover Southern California motorsports and events based on where I started at Lions Drag Strip, and that's we need that drag strip back. Yeah, we really do. We need a place to go race instead of all the crazy street racing and all that junk going on now. So let's all get together and get us a drag strip. Anyway, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy. And again, this is what it's all about. And
Don't go anywhere. I want to talk to you some more.
All right.
Apparently, we're sharing a mic here. So it's not just a building. It's not just a car collection. It's not just a tribute to a drag strip. You made a commitment to start working with the community, the youth of the community, the Society of Automotive Engineers. Can you kind of talk a little bit briefly about what's on the horizon for that?
Well, what's on the horizon is it's youth education as far as the automobile, and then things we used to do to work with our hands instead of just computers. And that's what we're promoting here. We're actually on the verge of becoming a Lions Club, which is and one of the clubs that originally started Lions Drag Strip. The West Long Beach Lions Club is going to be a partner here as well. And that's so special because that's where it all started, when they put up $45,000 to build the drag strip. And we want to continue that relationship and just continue on. And like you'll see, we got Marine Stadium. We're bringing in some drag boats. We're going to do an ascot display. High Desert, where drag strips, where racing started in El Mirage and places like that. And that's all part of our plan. And we'll keep going until, well, we'll never run out of anything to do.
And it's available for special events.
Yeah, and it is available for special events, and that's what we offer to the public and anybody interested. That just like this. I mean, this is so special. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Rick.
I think we'll do this again.
We'll have the contract up for signing later. And also in November, it's going to be the second annual induction ceremony. Yep. Last year was the celebration of, God, I don't know if you could celebrate a drag strip closing. You can't. It was a tribute to the 50th anniversary of the last drag strip. Carl, I cannot remember who won Top Fuel at that race. Maybe you can help me out on that. But Lord, how in the world did he have a Top Fuel license at 8 years old? But the last Top Fuel winner at Lions Drag Strip. Wow. And I have been asked by reporters over the years, and I know they meant something entirely different. They said, what's your greatest accomplishment in racing? I always answered it the same. I could walk into a room and say hi to Carl Olson, or Roland Leon, or Don Perdone. He usually ignored me, but once in a while he said hi. But it's just the people that were my icons growing up, I get to rub shoulders with them. And you look around here and it's that same group of people. Bones Baylog. I inducted you into the Don Garlits International Drag Racing Hall of Fame, buddy. Career highlight for me. So we're going to do the second annual Lions induction. So last year, and this is going to be in November. Do we have a date for that? It's around the 9th. Exactly on the 9th. I like to be vaguely ambiguous, though, not pin people down. After the revival, you guys got your promotions right. So last year they inducted, anybody ever remember CJ Pappy Hart? Wow. I think what's cool is son Jerry, who announced at the 64 Winter Nationals and then retired as a fireman. I've kind of become pretty good friends with him and his wife. They inducted Don Perdome. They inducted the gentleman we're going to talk to in a couple of minutes that goes by the name of Isky. They inducted Mickey Thompson, right? Day one, him and Judy running the Lions drag strip, just amazing. Then handed the baton over to CJ later, and then inducted Vic Edelbrock Sr., a guy that a lot of the cars in the pits still have his products on there. So this year, the inductees are going to be Linda Vaughn, Bones Baylog, Gary Gabelich, Keith Black, the man who won Funny Car at the last drag race at Lions. Anybody know who it is? Tom McEwen. Tom McEwen is going to be inducted. Doug Cook. It's hard to say that name without saying Stones and Woods in front of it, isn't it? Doug Cook is going to be inducted. Jim Dunn. Wow. I just want him to I want to tell him his speech has to be at least an hour because I love listening to them man talk. And a gentleman named Ed Pink. Is Ed here today? I was told that he was going to show up. If you had a top fuel engine and were winning races in the late 60s, early 70s, he either built it or had parts in it. But that's going to be our list of inductees for the next one, November 9th. If you guys can make it, that would be great. And if there's any of you that have not had a chance to go in, let me tell you guys, it's not worth your while. It's worth your month to go in there. When you walk around, you just get lost in that. I've been here 6 times. I haven't seen half the stuff there is. You either got to start paying me to announce or let me take a tour, Rick, for God's sake, man. All right, well, that dovetailed quite nicely, didn't it? Our guest of honor at 102 years and 5 days, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Iskenderian. You guys want to hear a few words from Ed? All right, I'm going to try to balance this because I got to talk really loud for Ed to hear and hold the mic so I don't blow up the PA while we're doing that, okay? First thing I would like to do is call up the current president of SEMA. Is Mike around here? Mike Spagnola. And if you're a hot rodder, you know what SEMA is. It has changed the industry. It has made things safer. It has saved lives. It has helped hot rodding stay alive with restrictive legislation. What they do is just so amazingly important. Mike is, well, Mike, if you step up here, Mike and Ed actually represent the bookends, and I'm going to have him briefly tell you what the history is. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Spagnola.
Hey, thank you, everybody. I got to tell you what a thrill it is to be here today with the Cam Father himself, Ed Iskenderian. You know, God puts people in our lives for a reason, and he put Ed in our lives to do amazing things, Ed, and we are just so grateful for you. You know, I got to tell you, the history, I'll do it really quick here, but 1963, a bunch of owners of businesses got together because Revell Toys wanted to license the decals on all their toy models. And Ed and a bunch of guys got together and said, we better form something so that we can do this legally. And so there's a lot of history, and there's some folklore, Ed, about what really happened. But a bunch of you guys got together in 1963. You were able to get an attorney together, and started this group together. But the story, the legend is that when they got together for this meeting, Ed wasn't there, so they voted him in as president. So, Ed, I don't know if that's really true. Maybe you can confirm that today. But I kind of feel like everybody was in line and everybody stepped up and stepped back, and Ed was the only guy standing. So, but it was because, Ed, of your notoriety and because of your brand and because of your name and because of all of that, that they thought you should be the very first president of SEMA. And we are celebrating 60 years this week of SEMA because of Ed Iskenderian. So, I mean, just a few things. He was the founding and charter member company of SEMA. He was elected as the association's first president, serving in 63 and 64. You were a founding exhibitor of the SEMA show in 1967. And in 1978, you were elected to the Hall of Fame of SEMA. I mean, just an amazing, amazing time. So, but I wanted to, and then you wanted to have distributors at some of your shows, and from there, the SEMA show was founded. And it was because of your name and your recognition that they put it together. So, Ed, I don't think anybody, when you guys set that up in 1963, would recognize that today it's a $51 billion industry. That the SEMA show is one of the top 3 shows in all of America. That there'd be over 1 million SEMA members from the few of you that started this. Today we have over 1 million SEMA members, 8,000 companies worldwide. The cars that were built because of SEMA in the movies, in the TV and other media is unbelievable. That racing would be as big as it is today because of you guys. That there would be millions of customized cars on the road. I mean, just look around here today. That there would be thousands of car shows every weekend, and I could go on and on and on, but it's because you and we're one of the founding members of SEMA and the very first president. And I'm honored to know you, and I'm excited that you're here today as we all celebrate your 102nd birthday. So, Ed, from all of us at SEMA, I hope that I can only fill a toe in your shoes. So thank you.
God bless you.
And we're going to do it. I was going to be quiet, but you guys are taking still photos. Why would that matter, right? Kind of rusty at this, to be honest with you. We're going to do an award for Ed in a second. I'm hoping, again, it's kind of a balance with Ed's hearing and not overpowering the PAs. So Ed, can you hear me okay?
I hear
okay.
you good.
So what Mike was talking about, he's the current SEMA president. You were the first SEMA president. When you look out at this crowd, this amount of cars, the industry, when you started SEMA back then, if you were dreaming, and you've always been a dreamer, you've always thought huge, did you see it coming to what it is today?
No, that was a complete surprise. I remember I belonged to the Bugholders Club. Luckily there were two members of the Bugholders Club in my neighborhood in 1933 when I was 12 years old and had no driver's license or anything. And I saw these little, what we call gal jobs. Get up and go became gal. And I'd go over there and hang out with those guys, and they would teach me about cars and gal jobs, kind of make-believe race cars, make-believe cars. So I said, what could be more fun than this, riding around in a Model T or a Model A and lowered to the ground, and hopped up a little bit. And we thought that was small potatoes, but we never thought it would grow big. But look what happened. Later after the war, drag racing came in, and it went into drag racing, and all of it came from all the old guys that taught us new guys how, as we came into the sport, the old guys would help us. And they were friendly too. And they still are. And so now it's now it's a rich man's sport, but it was a poor man's sport in the beginning. So now it's a rich man's sport, though. Well, there's all different passes. You can move all the way is rich man's sport, but there's places in between for little guys. Okay.
Ed, in a second we're going to have some fellas come up to give you an award. I'm sure Ed doesn't have many awards in his 102 years on this planet, but I know you get asked about your history, cars, racing, the camshaft industry, the merchandising, all the different things that you've done to change the hot rodding scene. I'd like to ask you maybe for a little bit of philosophy here. As a guy that just turned 102, and I'm getting a kick out of, first of all, Rick's 81, and when I asked him how old he was, he says, I'm almost 82. Like 15-year-old girls round their age up. You're 81, Rick. But Rick's got a hand on Ed's belt loop, so you got an 81-year-old holding up Ed right now. But Ed, what I would love is you to share a little bit of wisdom on the things that you've learned about yourself and people in life in 102 years.
Gee, you took me by surprise. I must have some ideas. Gosh, I don't know what to say. Oh, I know Spagnola. He was wonderful. You know, he was a mechanic working at SEMA, and he worked on my car. He put a new starter on it for me. And he was a hands-on guy.
He said you still haven't paid him for that, Ed.
Huh? He's a hands-on president. He's not afraid to work on the cars. Well, anyway, let me see. Let me see if you can start talking a little bit.
How about this? How about Ed? We're going to do your award right now, and that'll give you a little time to ruminate on that. I'd like to call up to the stage right now. Where's Doug? Oh, wait. Plan change D. How about, let me turn it over to David Merrick, one of the...
Congratulate him on his hat. That was at your company?
Yes. Lou, take a picture of us.
Do you know, David, you could have bought that time slot and I would have said something nice about it. But all right, you get your free plug in there. All right, we're paying off some sponsors apparently here, folks. I'd like to call up Doug Stokes. Doug used to run the Irwindale drag strip, and he has done so much. A lifetime hot rodder, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the award that he and where is Dean? Dean Case, and Dean is with the Society of Automotive Engineers, and I'm hoping the two of them will give a little background on this award, and then they're going to make a special presentation to Ed. So, Doug, take it away, sir.
It's going to be very short. These people are dying out here, and I am too. Listen, many years ago we did some reunion stuff, and we started an award in the name of a very well-known racing engineer, Peter Bryant. It's gone on from there. We're very, very pleased, first of all, that SAE SoCal is going to take over and keep the award going, and secondly, that it's going to be on display here at the museum, and thirdly, Ed's name is going to go on it right on the next tier.
So, first time in 3 years we've done.
Yeah, it's the first time. We've lost it for COVID, like a lot of other things. But it's it's also to encourage, as Rick's doing, encourage young people, give them some understanding about what racing engineers do, and we're really pleased with it. Can I let Dean talk?
Dean, was a few words from Dean Case.
Thank you. SAE SoCal is really honored to take on the tradition of. I'll let Dave hold the trophy. Peter Bryant was actually a board member for SAE SoCal, and so I think Ed's the perfect person to be the award recipient this year, because he bridges that the area between motorsports and traditional engineering, if you will. Well respected on all accounts. So there's names on there: Trevor Harris, Dan Gurney, some lesser known names. Not everyone necessarily knows Phil Remington. This group probably does, but a lot of really great people on there. It's recognizing excellence in engineering motorsports, and SAE SoCal is proud to take on this tradition. We're already working with the museum here on the education front. How many of you realize that there's student design competitions called Formula SAE and Baja SAE? We have 17 universities in Southern California building race cars. And so we want them to be engaged with the museum here to get the K through 12 kids more enthused. So it's not, we don't have to merge with the AARP. We can get some younger people involved in this. But we're honored to be a part. Yeah, we're honored to be involved here with the museum and SEMA and honor Ed. There's a great video on the SAE SoCal YouTube channel. When Ed was only 98 years old, we had an SAE meeting where Matt Stone did a fireside chat with Ed. And that's at the SEMA garage, so a lot of this, our worlds are coming together for mutual benefit. So thank you for this opportunity.
Another award for Ed. What do you guys think the over-under is on the number of plaques at his house? And if you've seen Ed's cars, there's not much room to call stuff. Don, maybe we can glue that to the roof of his current one. Yeah, we're going to cut Ed loose in just a second. Have you thought about any words of wisdom you'd like to impart to the crowd?
Yeah, well, I realize now when we were kids and we found out this new sport of hopping up Model T's and Model A cars, which you could buy for $5 or $10. They say Ford put the world on the United States on wheels. He was right with those Model T's, but we could buy them as cheap as $5 or $10 sometimes with 4 flat tires and push them home. And the older guys in the in the Bungholders Club would help us get it running. They would run it, get us that Model T motor started up, and we learned from these older fellows. And the first thing you know, World War II comes along, and then after that, the sport grew because of Hot Rod Magazine spreading the word around. And now, I was actually in demand to help the new guys what they had taught me, I can help the new guys that are coming into the sport. And I even bluffed myself in the cams after visiting Ed Woodfield, the master of the cam bringing business, and he helped me quite a bit. And I was amazed to make, and you can actually make a living in this sport. It can actually make you a living if you want to make certain parts that people need. And so it's not wasted. Oh, I got to tell you how they got the name Bungholers Club. Bud Hines was our president, and he saw that we were working in his tire yard where he keeps all his tire, and he'd say we looked like a bunch of loafers fooling around with cars and not working. And you guys are a bunch of a-holes. And we were thinking of calling it the A-hole Club. And Hartford Bridges says, no, you can't use that name. Let me think of a name. And he thought of a Bungholers Club, a barrel with a bunghole in it, and it's on the side, and that'll be the emblem. And it went over pretty good. Everybody else, the other clubs were road runners and gear grinders and many others. And of course, you know, we used to run up at, for top speed, we would race up there on Muroc Dry Lake. 20 miles of flat lake when it was dry, and we could, cars would, they were different clubs like the 90-mile-an-hour club and many different names, road runners and so forth, and our Bungholers Club. Did I ever tell you about, we go up to there's another dry lake, Harper's Dry Lake in Orange County, and by golly, we'd go up there on camp on Friday nights and Saturday nights, and we found at the side of the lake was a spring where we could take a bath, and we called that Bunghole City, and we also called it the Pony Express Station. I made believe it was the Pony Express Station, and that's where we'd camp overnight, and then race, have fun time.
You want to go take a seat again? Yeah. Hey, we're going to let Ed get some shade. Ed, I want to say on behalf of, and I know I'm speaking on behalf of everybody here. We love you, but we also like you. We respect the heck out of you. I just love that I wanted a philosophy speech on 102 years, and we heard bungholer and a-hole 3 times in there. So apparently that's what it takes. One more award, and this is going to be the you and Carl. Okay, we're going to have Carlos because Tammy apparently decided she's shy right now. Her father took it. These were not in my notes. I just want you guys to know I'm completely winging it here. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Carl Olson.
Thank you. The Lions Automobilia Foundation and Museum, which is more than a museum, Board of Directors decided that in honor of this event and this particular individual, that we would do something we've never done before, and that is to appoint an honorary member of the Lions Automobilia Foundation and Museum to Ed Iskenderian.
And we made Ed promise to save a few stories for his 103rd birthday, so hopefully we'll see you guys right back here next year. Ed, thank you so much. We're going to go into Car Show Awards right now, but how about one more round of applause? At 102 years old, if he drove here today, give him a 10-minute head start. If you get out of here before him, go really fast, okay?